On the day of Pentecost, Peter declares that Jesus was delivered over to death in accordance with the definite, meaning meticulous, plan and foreknowledge of God. All right, before I read this, here's what I want you to do. This doctrine creates all sorts of difficulties. I can't name them all. We can't talk about them all. We can't deal with them all. And here's a news flash. The Bible doesn't actually deal with all of them. It just tells us to believe things. Here is the place when this gets so weighty for your mind, right? When you go, how does this correlate with free will and sin and darkness and perversion and all of these realities that our brains cannot put together? I want you to go to this verse, and I want you to think, if you imagine God as some sort of detached puppet master, like up here manipulating and moving things according to his predetermined knowledge, I want you to read this verse and realize, meditate on the reality that the definite and meticulous, foreordained, foredetermined plan of God included God giving up his own son at the hands of wicked men in order to purchase redemption. Okay, he's not detached. He's not far off. He's not pulling the strings. He determined it in such a way that it was going to cost him more than it cost anybody else in the whole thing. His own son coming into the world, giving up his life, feeling the real effects of suffering in his body as he was whipped and scourged and mocked and humiliated, hung on a cross, the real effects of the judgment of the Almighty God being poured out upon him, separating his face from him. If you think of God, when you think of election as like detached and heartless and calloused and not caring, meditate on this verse. Let your mind sit on this verse and then maybe figure out how far out you can go beyond that. But start here. This Jesus, this is what Peter says on the day of Pentecost, was delivered up according to the definite plan and foreknowledge of God. You crucified him and killed him by the hands of lawless men. So here we actually have the free acts of lawless men being done to the Son of God to accomplish the definite, determined, meticulous plan of God to bring redemption to the world.